What's going on out there, good people? It is your boy Look Around with LMD Trading, coming at you today with another daily trade review. Today we are going to be reviewing trades that were taken on January 26, 2022, which is today. Today we took a total of 4 trades, and we were not in the market that long at all, just a little under an hour. And we will go ahead, get Trader View pulled up, take a look at them, and then we'll get the charts pulled up, review them, and we will be out of here. So give me 1 sec, and I am going to pull up Trader View. All right, we have Trader View pulled up. And as you can see, we took a total of 4 trades today. Had a closed P&L of $100. So ended up hitting our goal right on the number today. We tried to sit on our hands as long as we could, as close to 10 o'clock as we could, because we did see in Trader View that 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock seems to be our best time to trade. So we got in our first trade at 9:50 this morning, and we got into the last trade at 10:44. So let's go ahead. We will get Thinkorswim pulled up and get looking at the charts. And as always, see if the trade was valid, see if we got into a good trade, and all that other good stuff. So let me go ahead and get Thinkorswim pulled up and be right back. All right, so we have Trader View pulled up, and we are going to go ahead and pull up our first trade of the morning, which was AXP, American Express. AXP was still moving from yesterday, and we kind of took advantage of that. So we got in the first trade at 9:50. Go ahead and get the screen adjusted right. And we got in the first trade at 9:50. So we would have been getting in on this candle right here. And let's see. So if we look on the 2-minute chart, we see that we were getting in this trade a little early. If we look, market open, came down, got back above the VWAP, coming into this area of resistance, and we got in on this bottoming tail. And we probably should have been getting in once it broke over that level. There's a good chance that this stock could have met with this resistance and rolled back over, but it did work. Wasn't the best entry, and we ended up getting out of this trade at 9:55. So we got out on that candle pretty much as it was making this turn to come back down. The move was pretty much over. We had already hit our target, was trying to stretch it out, see if we can get a little bit more out of it. And we ended up selling that contract for $60. Paid $480, and we sold it for $540. And as we can see, that was the high of the day. This thing set the high of the day at 9:54. That's pretty amazing. Kind of tells you what the day had in store for it. So that was our first trade. Pretty good trade. And like I said, we got in at about 10 minutes before 10. But that was our best trade of the day. And then the last 3 trades that we took were all on Microsoft. These were all on Microsoft. As you can see, Microsoft has a lot of support and resistance lines on it. So the first trade that we got into was at 10:14 and 2 seconds. So we were getting in this thing. Because you figure if this opened here and it closed here, we were getting in just as this was pushing. And this was a put. So if we look here at the 2 minute, stock open, came down, and then it pretty much just traded in this channel. And this is the one thing I do like about stock trading and technical analysis. Once you map out your support and resistance lines, and these are just getting put on the chart based on past price action. So price action on either the hourly chart or the daily chart, going back, you can go back months and kind of find price action. But this thing pretty much just traded in that channel, which was pretty much having it bounce right off of the VWAP. And then it came here and it broke out of that channel. And that's where we got in it, right when it was breaking out of the channel. And we were in this trade for a little over 15 minutes. We got out at 10:30. So we got out 10:30 in 1 second. So we know this opened here, it closed here. So this candle would have opened here and we were getting out pretty much right there. So we got out of that trade, and we'll look at it on the 2 minute. Pretty much looks identical to the 1 minute. Came, tested this area, didn't break it, came back up, tested this area, didn't break it, came back down, tested it, and came back up, and we were getting out right here, and we made $15 on this one contract here. Made $15, paid $500, and we sold it for $515. So that was our second trade of the day. First two trades green. Third trade of the day, again Microsoft, and we got in this one at 10:38. This was a put again. So 10:38 and 13 seconds. So it would have been somewhere in this candle. So we'll click right there. And we'll come over here to the 2 minute. And we got in just as it was breaking. Came up, tested that, didn't break it. Got in just as it had broke it. And we got out of this trade in 1 minute. We got out at 10:39. 10:39 and 38. So somewhere up in that candle, which was still going to be in the same 2 minute candle. And that one there we made $5 on. Paid $505 and we sold it for $510. And at this point we were just trying to just take little tiny nibbles. Just watching the active trader window and just taking little nibbles. And then the final trade that we took, again, Microsoft, and we got in this one at 10:44, right as the candle was opening. So would have been about right there. And again, just playing this channel. Now, if we do drag that in there, the channel does look a little wider. So let's see, it was pretty much about $1 worth of movement in there from the top to the bottom. It's about $1 from the top to the bottom. And we got in that one at 10:44. So we would have been getting in right there. And we got out of this one at 10:45, almost 10:46. So we would have been getting out of this one right about here. That's 1 minute. in that one as well. And that little tiny itty bitty move popped and made $20. We made $20 on that one. We paid $535 for the contract, and we sold it for $555. And that was our 4 trades. That was it. Short and sweet. Pretty much made target and or made our goal for the day and decided to just be content with making that. Let's not try to get that profit back up. Something that I need to try to do a little bit more frequently. It doesn't make sense to make your goal and then give it back, which we did a few times last week where we were just short of the goal and then we turned around and gave all of it back. Sometimes recovering and making it back, but it doesn't make any sense to do that. Let's go ahead, capture that profit, and tomorrow we'll try to make that same goal again. And just need to be steadfast in it. I had someone tell me like, you day trading and that's all you making, and I somewhat can fall into the trap of that sometimes. Like, let me try to make a little more money, but I have to humble myself and say, look around, you're a new trader. Like, think about it, and I'll break it down. So, as I stated, my goal is $100 a day. And let's look at today. We were in the market a little over an hour, but we'll break it all the way down. We'll go to when I first start in the morning. So let's say that I sit down at the trading station usually around 9 o'clock. Usually around 9 o'clock is where I'll get everything booted up, get everything set up, and I'll sit down and I'll start trying to find ideas to trade. And then the market opens at 9:30. And today we took our last trade at 10:45. So we were in the market for a little over an hour, right at an hour and 15 minutes. But let's take it all the way back and we'll actually say, let's say 8:30. We'll go 8:30. Nah, let's not do that. Let's keep it at 9. And we'll keep these whole numbers. Let's keep it at 9 that we sit down, which is usually the time that we do sit down to start finding ideas. And let's say we went to 11 o'clock today, even though we did go to 10:45. That's 2 hours. And in that 2 hours, we made $100. That's $50 an hour. Think about that. That's $50 an hour for a job that we have not even been on for a year. We have no formal training in this job and no experience in this job. And I ask you, is $50 an hour bad? Is that bad for basically coming off the street and in less than a year, that's what you're making on average. We'll say on average per day. Some days we know we'll lose money. Some days we know we might double that. We had some days this week, I believe, where we doubled that. So instead of making $100, we made $200. But even if we say that we're in the market from 9 until, let's say, 12. 12 is usually about the longest that we sitting in the market. So that's 3 hours. And let's say we still making that $100. That's $33 an hour. I ask you, what part-time job can you go to with no experience, less than a year on the job, and you make that? That's what I had to kind of realize. That's why I tried to explain to my buddy. I'm like, I understand what you're saying. We see all the glitz and glamour. If you're on YouTube, you'll get the advertisements where someone turned 500 into 5 million, or they turned 100 into 10,000. Sounds good. But if you have done any amount of serious trading, you know it's extremely hard to turn money like that in the market unless you truly gambling, or you have been in the market 10, 20 years and you have a system and you also have capital. But you're not going to get in the market with 10, $20,000 and with a actual strategy and an actual plan turn that 10 to 20 into a million overnight. So I'm going to stick to my plan. My plan is to risk $25 per trade to make $100 a day. And with any job, with more experience comes more pay. And let's just say we're starting with an account that was say $5,000, which was right about where I started at. And in 3 months, we have grown that account to $10,000. Then at that time is when you could probably go to the boss and say, hey, boss, I doubled what was in the account. How about we double our risk now? So that's the only thing that's going to change is our risk. We're not going to change the way that we trade. We're not going to change what we do to enter a trade. We're not going to change what we do to exit a trade. We're just going to go from, instead of buying one contract, now we'll buy two contracts. And now instead of a goal of $100 a day, let's make that goal $200 a day. And then 3 months later, let's review and see where we're at. And now possibly if we've grown that count exponentially again, now we can say, okay, let's double that. And instead of instead of making 200 a day, now we're making 400 a day. That's how you build an account. That's the strategy that I'll be implementing to build an account. With anything, success is not overnight. And as quick as you can have success, you can lose it when you use that tactic. So that's my strategy. I'm not sure about other people's strategies, but that's the strategy that Look Around is going to use. I'm a businessman. I own an embroidery business as well. I've had it since 2008. Started it right in my living room with a little tiny single needle sewing machine, embroidery machine. And the same way that I built that business, which now I think I have either 5 or 6 heads. I do laser engraving, dye sublimation, digital printing. I built that one machine at a time, cash financed, and that's how I plan on doing trading. So, love to have y'all along for the ride. Like I say, I make these videos for myself primarily, but also for anybody else that's new, that's out there trading, that's thinking about getting into the market, or they're already into the market and might be struggling. If you watch my reviews, you see every day, I never have a day where every trade I took was perfect. But the thing is, I want to learn from every trade to make the next trade better. And it's a learning process. So, like I said, hopefully you can get something out of these videos, and we can continue to keep on moving to become better traders. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down. If you hadn't already hit the like button, go ahead and hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a dime. If you are not a subscriber, by all means, I would love to have you as a sub. That way you can hit that notification bell. You can get notified when I do come out with new videos. I try to review my trades every day while they're fresh on my mind. Eventually, I will probably start trying to record while I'm trading, but right now I don't really see the need to do that. I can kind of, when I look back at the charts, I can kind of see um, what my mindset was at that time. There are times where it would be good to go back and kind of look at the tape sometimes, looking at level 2, looking at time and sales. I know yesterday I looked at the SPY and I saw the SPY drop a wicked tail. And I would have loved to have been able to come back and look at time and sales and see how many shares was bought when that tail was made. But that would probably be the only reason why I want to record, just so I can kind of go back and look at things like that. But I'm going to go ahead in this video, and we will see you all on the next one. All right. Have a good day. Peace.